Hello, I'm Michelle Marino with Arlington Public News. In studio today, I'm joined by Lauren Hefferon, the owner and director of Ciclismo Classico, a cycling business, Arlington-based business that offers cycling tours around the world. Thanks for joining us, Lauren.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So I have a few questions for you. I'm very intrigued by your business. My first question is, what's the inspiration behind your cycling business?
Well, I've been cycling since I was a kid. I had an injury at a young age, and I was very active, and I decided once I was injured that I didn't want to get injured anymore. So I started cycling, and I lived in Keene, New Hampshire, and it was just such a beautiful location. It became kind of a magical kind of part of my life because I just started exploring where I was, and I really fell in love with just the whole picture, the landscape, the cultures, and I just kept following that in my heart. And at a certain point, I think in high school, I just said, whatever I do in my life, it's going to have to involve cycling. And I wasn't quite sure, and obviously at that time, there was really not that much to, in the cycling world. But I started leading trips, and I started kind of getting involved with outdoor education, and I really liked it. And then I got a scholarship to go to Italy, and my family, my mom's family's from Italy, half my dad, and went there to seek out my roots. So I always loved, so it was like travel and landscape and beauty and being with people. So it was, again, it was kind of a combination of things I loved. And at the time, I didn't think I was going to do it, and then I realized that no one was doing bicycle tours in Italy at the time. So I had an opportunity to kind of specialize, which I like to do too. So launched it in 1989 with a couple of tours in Tuscany, and just was really, I've never turned around once. It's really just been fast forward.
That's great. And I know you're located here in Arlington.
Right.
Can you tell us why you chose Arlington?
Sure. Well, I bumped around a little bit. I was in Brookline. I started the first year. Then I moved to Somerville. And then, just realized it was too crowded in Somerville. And frankly, it was the bike path that got me here. I never forget, I rode the bike path one day, and I went off the bike path and looked for various houses that were for sale and saw a for sale sign on Marathon Street. And we're 3 blocks from the bike path. And I'm on it every single day, probably have ridden over 60,000 miles on the bike path back and forth over the last 17 years.
So I want to move on to the tours because I think that's what we're really interested in. So I know you offer cycling tours throughout Europe, Italy, Croatia, Spain, France. What are some of your favorite destinations?
Well, I like all the tours very much. I mean, I have obviously my heart in Italy very strongly. I particularly like tours that go around the water. I like islands. I love Sardinia and Sicily, Elba. So I like tours where I get to see mountains and sea. Those are my favorite. I just feel like you're flying along the coast, and I love to swim, so it's a nice way to combine. And I like tours that have lots of culture in them. So I really like any beautiful place to ride that has beautiful landscapes.
Can you tell our viewers a little bit about where they can go to get more information about some of your tours?
Sure. We have a brand new website. That's www.ciclismoclassico.com. And we have a brand new brochure, and we live in Arlington, and if you want to stop by, we often host events and look forward to meeting people in person. And give us a call at 1-800-866-7314.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Lauren.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it.
Thanks.
I'm Michelle Marino with Arlington Public News.